Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Moving to Markham. My name is Ralph Ciancio, broker at Remax, and today we have a very special guest. It's the OG. It's the one who started it all. It's my father. I actually brought my father onto the show. This is everyone, Vito Ciancio. I'm more nervous in this conversation than I've had in the past. I've had lots of great conversations with people, but I guess it's no one's judgment I fear more. This is my father, but we wanted to bring him onto the show because he's an inspiring person to me, and I know to so many others. He's been running a business in Markham for over 40 years, but the last 35 years with his own retail outlet. And I wanted to bring him onto the show, really kind of a little bit to show you behind the curtain on where I came from. I'm so proud of him, and I kind of want to show him off. But I also wanted to allow him to share some inspiration, some ideas of what he thinks, because he's definitely a visionary. He always thinks 3, 4, 5 steps ahead, and hopefully you'll find some value in our conversation today. So before we get too winded, let me introduce Mr. Vito Ciancio. Welcome,
Hey.
Vito,
Hi.
also known as Dad. Go ahead.
How you doing today?
Good.
Thank
Excited
you
to have you.
thank you to have me here today, and I'm willing to share some times with you guys and pass a little bit of experience and what I did in the past 30 plus years in Markham in the retail, and also living in Markham.
Yeah.
Proud living in Markham. I'm very happy that I did make this move.
Yeah. Well, I think that, part of the theme on the show, we shine a lot of light on entrepreneurship and, inspiration. We want to shed some light as to what it's like to live in Markham. And, for some people that are thinking about making a move, one part of York region to the other, we want them to know and understand, some of the values here. And I know that we talk about business, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about your journey, but we also talk about you and the pillar in the community. Whether it be, community stuff or coaching, youth sports, or being on different boards. So, there's a lot more to you and your fabric than just, Vito, the tile guy. So tell us, talking about tiles. So tell us, you've been in the tile game for a little while.
Yeah, since I came to Canada, I chose tiles because the weather is an indoor work.
It's an indoor work.
So
most tiles are inside,
and need to be heated to bond properly, and that's why maybe lazy, maybe
I don't know about lazy. I've never heard somebody call you lazy.
No, but then the lazy part of it is that I wanted to avoid the winter part, and but also I love with a passion what I did. I don't regret it any minute. I worked very hard in my life, but I think I accomplished a lot of things over the years. I can say driving, I did work in that house, I did work in that building, I did that work in the supermarket, I did work in the airport, so too many places that I was lucky to be involved because of my...
Also, not just places, but people too.
Yeah.
We go anywhere and you say, oh, I worked for that guy a long time ago, or that's a client, or,
But also that's the main part. It is over the years, I met so many good people, and that's why I'm glad that I came to Canada, because even if we come from different countries, we still have the same passion, is the family. And the unity between the family, doesn't matter what country the people come from. And Canada gave us a lot of opportunity. And some people didn't appreciate it, and they didn't took advantage. But I did my best of my knowledge, and with up and downs. But after all, I know that I could have done better if I would have taken more risk, but I'm very happy with what I accomplished.
Well, the risk comes reward, but also risk comes uncertainty as well. And, I reference my dad a lot in conversations about being my first teacher. And I learned so much working in the business. I remember, being, 8 years old, going to help my dad, measure, we do estimates on a Tuesday night. We'd go after dinner to go and measure, to give a price for a potential customer. And, now as a grown adult, I realized that he didn't really need me to hold the measuring tape against the wall and to write down 8 by 10 and then multiply on a piece of paper that's 80 square feet. Now, as an adult, as a grown man, I realize that the measuring tape works the same if it's sitting on the floor, and he can do arithmetic of 8 by 10 on the floor, but on the fly. But you were there, you brought me in to teach me. And one of the things that you taught me, and you talk about working with so many people, is that you met so many amazing people, but you also left an imprint, a positive imprint on their lives. And that's why when we go places, everybody wants to go and say, hi, oh, there's Vito. And that's one thing that, I use in my business, is making sure that the people that we serve, whether they're a client or not, even just somebody that I've met at open house. Over the weekend, I ran into someone that I met at 5 open houses over the last 2 years. They ran up to me to give me a hug. They're not my customer. They're not my client. They're not, it's just the relationship that was created over some conversations and some time.
But that is a skill that, you develop with experience and you develop over the years. The most important part of it is the human part.
Mm-hmm.
The business part is associated, but the most important is how you treat people. If you treat people with respect, they're going to respect you back. Mm-hmm. And I always tell everybody, especially younger people, that you have to start and see where you come from, and respecting your roots and respecting your traditions and your languages, and be proud of where you come from. It's so easy to get distracted today, like a bat. I don't want to go to this, be so difficult, but what I say is, remember that your neighbors are part of your family too, okay? And respect, and you're going to be respected too. Over the years, moving to Markham was an easy choice.
Yeah, so tell us about that. I mean, we were so you're born in Italy, you grew up in Argentina, right? Which is why we speak Spanish and Italian. And, but soccer-wise, I think people want to know, which country do you cheer for? Canada, Argentina, or Italy?
This is, I encourage everybody. I have been asked this question all the time. I says, I always went for the country where I was born, and I encourage everybody. You were born in Canada, you cheer for Canada. Doesn't matter where your parents come from. I was born in Italy, and I decided that yes, when Argentina played with somebody else, I will cheer for Argentina. When in Canada in the Copa America, I was cheering for Canada because Italy wasn't involved. But that is irrelevant. The point that I'm trying to put it is this. Moving to Markham was a choice because of the business. I was working a lot in Markham. Mm-hmm. So, and like I said before, I'm lazy. I don't want to drive a lot. So it was easy to move my family to Markham instead of me going every day from Scarborough to Markham. And even if it wasn't 15 kilometers every day back and forth. And then we established, I believe I made the right choice, and I'm still happy every day that I live in Markham. And a lot of good people. There's a lot of value in real estate in Markham, and that is something that I want to encourage people. Remember, everything, you have to maximize your dollars and the return on your dollars. Yeah. And Markham is a good place to live, safe, okay? Barely lock the door.
Well, I don't know. Things have been changing a little bit lately, but, safe, definitely. Definitely it's a safe place, but I think the macro idea of safety, it's not the 1950s, but... it's just a side story. You were the first person that I knew. I mean, I was a kid, but the only guy I know really that had a car phone. And what happened to that one?
Well, I had a car phone, and the worst part of it is, working inside the house and the horn on my truck.
When the phone rang, when my dad's truck, it was, when I say car phone, it was really in the work truck.
Yeah,
right?
Under the seat.
It was under the seat, and it was wired in a way that when the phone rang, the horn would honk. So we would be inside a home. My dad would be laying tiles, and I'm sweeping or mixing, some floor mix, and we just hear, and everyone would run down the wonky construction stairs to make sure we could get to the phone.
Yeah,
And
but this is and then the beauty of it is the with technology we change now. Like you know everybody has a phone.
yeah.
Everybody used to new stuff that came out. But the thing it is we live the transition.
Hmm.
Okay, that's what I said in
We
my,
live in a transition.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because you see what happened is growing up in Argentina, like a big city like a Buenos Aires, but I still wasn't technologically prepared for the big numbers of people. Mm, The phone was like something that was for a privilege. Not too many people had the phone at home,
Hmm.
okay, because they were not prepared to have so many people asking for phone. And coming to Canada, it's different, smaller like a population, big country too. But the part that it is that I noticed the different, the here was everything accessible,
Yeah.
like a credits.
Yeah.
We didn't have mortgages in Argentina. You have the money, you buy it. You don't
Yeah.
have it, you wait till you have
Yeah.
it.
And even lotteries. You talked about
Yeah, yeah. And
lotteries didn't exist in Argentina.
no, in Canada.
Well, lotteries didn't exist in
In
Canada at the
Canada. When
time.
I came to Canada, the first thing that got my attention was in Argentina we had lotteries. Here, nothing, and that's what I say. It's a rich country, because I mean people don't need to gamble in to see if to solve their problems. So I mean the living standard was very good. Obviously, we can complain, we can compare, but the bottom line is it's a beautiful country to live on it. Every time I travel, I enjoy where I'm going, but I say I'm glad I'm home,
Yeah.
even if I'm not Canadian. But I'm glad that I'm home because this is what my family is. A lot of people tell me, I says, oh, you know what? If you retire, you can move back to Argentina. You're very comfortable financially. And I said, yeah, but I'm gonna be poor like a family. My
Yeah.
family is here, so I don't want to leave my family just for convenience. My family is too important.
And
And
talking about family, I mean, it's probably one of the biggest soccer fans for youth sports. So, with both of my kids playing competitive sports, I know I kind of reignited this passion because I remember growing up. I mean, when I was playing soccer, you were so passionate. And, when Frank, my brother, was playing soccer, you were so passionate about it. Even when Josie was playing, you're so passionate about it. So it is great to see that kind of passion for community, passion for sports come together. But I think what I see is your passion for kids, your passion for teaching. Because I mean, if you've ever seen my dad at a soccer game, we really go to the soccer game so that at halftime we have a field for about 10 minutes to kick the ball around. And I've seen you take kids from the opposing team's family, to show them how to pass the ball properly, or teach them a soccer trick, and that's
the
really cool.
thing it is, I analyze my passion, and I can just go with one word: passion for life. Okay, and what I said to everybody, I said, enjoy your life. It's only one. Okay, and remember, your future is on the children.
Hmm.
Okay, and my passion is my grandchildren, obviously, but obviously any other kid who I can give a word of encouragement, or a little technique how to do, or how to pass the ball better, or to stop the ball better. It's the only passion that I have in sport is soccer. I love the other sport too, but soccer is overwhelming on my character,
Yeah.
like that. But I'm very proud.
Yeah, and just to change gears a little bit, uh, I know you're a foodie. I know that food is important in every aspect of your life. What would you say either your top one or top two favorite restaurants in Markham?
Well,
I think I know
like
the answer, but I'm gonna let you answer.
no, it's you see what happened is I'm very specific in food. I mean, like people have their own preference. Okay, I like a lot homemade food.
Okay.
Okay, I like to cook a lot, and the restaurants here, there's a lot of good restaurants, especially here in Main Street. Okay, and even Main Street Markham, not only Unionville. I enjoy the company. I see the people coming here. Like from a sit down meal and
So, what would be your favorite? If you had to poke a restaurant, put it on a pedestal, what would you say?
Well, like here is next door. I mean, like I was there last week. I mean,
That's Il
Postino, okay,
Postino.
is
Yeah.
one. La Grotta is another one. So, I'm too typical. Maybe I'm too Italian, okay?
Ah,
And
but even Costa Sorrento is another
yes,
one.
another
Costa
one.
Sorrento is a cool restaurant
Yeah.
that is in downtown Markham, just next to the movie theater. And
I was there last night, so that means it's not, I support in the local business,
yeah,
okay, and because having a business in Markham is what they tell me, like we all need help,
yeah.
and uh, and especially right now, okay, the one industry that got hit a lot harder was the food industry. I mean, the restaurants and it's hard to go back. But the bottom line that it is, I don't want to emphasize only the business part that it is. I want to emphasize the life that
Mm-hmm.
is in Markham. I always, since I moved to Markham, I never crossed my mind to move somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And even a lot of my friends, they decide to sell the houses in Markham and move north, and with the money that they were saving by buying a house a little bit far, okay, they would have put it on the bank for retirement.
Yeah.
Still, I believe that, like I'm never going to do that.
Yeah.
And I was, like I say, adopted by Markham, and I'm going to stay here in
Yeah.
Markham.
Well, you'd mentioned the idea of restaurants, and a thought came into my mind, and a moment of inspiration. Something that you taught us. So, growing up in my dad's business, we would do a lot of deliveries. People would buy tiles, and we'd drive out and deliver the tiles to them. It was a free service that, when you're buying 600 square feet of tiles, bringing them home is a problem that you didn't know you have. So you'd always say, well, we'll offer free delivery. And we would often get offers of tips from people. You're bringing 600 square feet of tile down, 2 flights of stairs or up 2 flights of stairs. People would say, oh, here's, some money. Thanks so much to myself or my brother. And one policy we had was we never take tips. And the idea behind it was they want to show gratitude to you, but you wanted to show gratitude to the customer.
Mm.
And that's something that stuck with us. It's funny because, in our business, you wouldn't think so, but we actually get offered a lot of tips. Very often when we're selling a home, if things go the way that we anticipate that they go, the experience is at the level that we're working towards. Sometimes homeowners will say, "Hey, we would like to give you a tip, or here's something for you." And as a company policy, we never take it with that same mindset that we want to show respect and gratitude to the customer. And as you talk about the food industry, something that's been driving me crazy the last little bit is that the expectation of tip in everywhere I go, especially in food industry, has gone through the roof post, pandemic. And that's something where I feel like, the pendulum has switched where now maybe staff are only working based on tips, or maybe business owners are paying less, or maybe there's some other shift in there. But
I think every business has their own way how to be run. For me, what I say, when do you offer a service, if you call it free, it's supposed to be free.
yeah,
Okay. Now, like if you watch in every commercial every day after they promoting their product, the last part is free delivery. And people ask me, how much is you charge for delivery? And I said, no, we've been doing free delivery, like a whole lot of time that we are in business, because it's part of it, of the service. Now, we got a lot from people, okay, supporting our business, but also we had to give back to people because after all, it's the most important part of any business is the people.
mm-hmm.
Now, going to the restaurant part of it, going to be adjustable because eventually nothing goes to extreme. Like they were closed for a good period during the virus, so that means they had to recuperate somehow.
Yeah.
And I encourage people, again, business, to focus on workers.
Mm-hmm.
We're lacking workers, and we have to respect a little bit more the people who come every day to improve your business and working for your business. So the minimum wage, unfortunately, in this country, is not balanced with the way
Or the cost of
the
living.
cost of living.
Yeah.
And this is the part that I find is so difficult for younger people to keep up
Yeah.
because it's very hard. They're going deeper and deeper in debt because everything is more
Well, we
expensive.
talked about this so many times in that, Argentina, in some regards, has taught you a lot of lessons of where our future is going. And it was that increase in you say that the gap in standard of living between cost of living and minimum wage is unsustainable, and that creates a lower class, and that the gaps that we're creating in the different classism is going to have a huge problem in our economy and in society, right? Like Argentina, you had the uber rich and the uber poor, and everyone in the middle.
The part that it is, and I've been very lucky because seems like whatever we go through now, I went through 50 years ago. And I was a young guy, left Argentina 23 years old, but already the gap was trying to, the middle class slowly disappear. And here it's getting closer to that, unless, the economy turn and we teach a little bit the young generation, and it's not how much you spend, it's how much you make, is how much you save.
Yeah, you should keep.
And unfortunately, because always they go into mama or papa bank and always they have the support there, okay? But it's a lot to adjust. I have faith, okay, and humans because we adapt. Maybe for a trend, 5, 10 years we move one direction, but after we correct everything.
So, would you say you have some tips or words of wisdom for somebody that's thinking about starting a business this year?
Well, starting a business is Canada is a easy country to start a business, and the rules of business is encouraging people to go to in business. I always talking to young people, okay, and this is a common word that I always use is if you are good for working for somebody else, you're twice as much as good to do it for yourself. And that is a simple reason. If somebody pay you, they have to make profit on it. So that means if it's your business, you can take both money. And the secret is to work hard. Nothing comes easy in life without work. And what I tell everybody is remember, you get up every morning and the clock is ticking every minute. You have to be productive. And unfortunately, we have too many distractions.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The distractions are, a pandemic we have in our minds now. It's funny we don't get bored anymore. I've been going crazy. And tell me if comment down below if you've downloaded or tried the app Block Blast, because this is going to be the death of me. It's basically an app, a game on your phone where it's like Tetris. It's basically just very quick problem solving, but it's so addictive that I find that even if I'm watching TV, if there's a commercial, I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking for a break in the distraction, and it's so bad because my mind doesn't have a minute to shut off. So I'm actively trying to just put my phone away, put it in another room, and
See, over the years, I want to pass a little bit of experience, and that was one of the blame that I had from my older son, Frank, your brother. Is that you did everything for us, okay, except you never took us fishing.
no.
Okay, and that's something that stay on my mind for so many years, and to trying to understand the people who were going fishing. What was the purpose? The fish, or
No.
go and have a peace and quiet time with yourself? I never had that, unfortunately, but I get in it now. Okay, because I don't need to go fishing. I catch a fish when I learn something every minute. I get up every morning and so hungry for learning, even if I'm 72 years old.
But I also look at the idea of, for example, maybe a father and a son a father says, "Hey, do you want to go fishing on Sunday morning or something like that, or after work? I finish at Bell Canada at 5. We'll go fishing in the evening." I think what they're trying to do is just have intimate time to just chat. But what I realize is that, I mean, maybe a little bit by luck and maybe a little bit by intention, your any vehicle you ever had never had a radio. And we would go, my dad would ask us to go, hey, I need you to come with me. We're going to pick up some material. So we'd drive maybe to the West End, and this is before the 407. We would go on a Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning, driving along the 401. And at the time it was a 40-minute drive. And there was no radio. And I always asked, I said, why don't you have a radio in your car? And my dad would say, well, it allows me time to think. But when you're driving with someone with no radio in the car, and this is pre-cell phones, it allowed us a time to talk. And I remember so many conversations where we're sitting, the two of us, or sometimes with my brother in the car, and I was literally sitting on a bucket in between two like legal proper chairs, and I'm just sitting on this loosey goose bucket, hoping I don't get pulled over. And we'd have some of the best conversations, and you'd tell us stories, or you would give us some lessons, or sometimes you would give us shit. It was just a raw, intimate talk. And the funny thing is, as I hated it growing up, I said, this is crazy. This guy doesn't have a radio in his car. And about 8 years ago, I realized that our clients needed moving vans. They, was removing garbage from our clients' homes, or bringing things for donations, or even helping them with the move. Was something that they needed solved. So I went out and bought a cube van, a 16-foot moving van, which we keep here in the back of our office, and it's available for all of our clients to use. And I bought it at an auction, and I had to bid on it right away. When we got it delivered, I sat in the car, and there was no radio. I just overlooked that there was no radio in the car at all. And, the whole team was laughing at me saying, you should put a stereo, like we can retrofit it. You can. And I said, no. I said, my dad never had a speaker in his car. We just talked. And my car, this van to this day has no radio, no music. And I drive with my kids all the time. I drive with my team, and we just chat, we connect. And something happens when you're sitting still.
Yeah, but the secret is simple, okay? You don't need distraction. You need to communicate. And that's what I noticed lately, okay? And I encourage all the parents, to try to educate their own children. Then to put the phone, it started with half an hour a day, going to 1 hour, and trying to convince the kids the phone is not a necessity, it's a commodity. You need a phone, but it don't have to be an obsession. Yeah. You have to be always on the phone. And I encourage the parent to invest more on the children, because that's the future. Okay. Every time that you say, yes, you come to every game, I do it first for them, but first of all, I do it for myself, because it's a passion that I have for the game, but a passion for kids. Like you say, I give advice. Yes, because my father told me that everything that I learn is for me to share it. If you share your knowledge, other people are going to benefit from that. And right now, what I tell everybody, dedicate your time to the children. It's the best investment you're going to have in your life. And you know how strict I am with the raising children, and how, first of all, for me, education is everything, and they have to go through the process and get the best out of it. Financially, I know for sure, okay, that you raising your children like your brother and your sister with the same passion that I try to pass it to you guys. And some people say, oh, Ralph sounds a lot like you. And I said, yeah, hey, what do you expect? You see, I've been bombarding him since he was a kid, but the idea is this. But I want to touch something that the people maybe want to find interest being in Markham. You see, Markham is a beautiful city, and I loved here because, again, we come from different background, and I have a lot of friends from different parts of the world, and they all have the same things that we don't realize. It's too passion that every country and every society has, is the passion for the family and for food. Mm-hmm. So this is something that I want to encourage people to keep that like a priority.
Hmm.
Okay, first respect where you come from and your family, and also keep your tradition. It's nice to cook things that your grandmother was cooking. Okay, I had to be honest, I never cooked till 50 years old. And now became a passion because I have time, but also I love to feed my family, okay, some friends when they have the chance, because it's where we come from.
I
Okay.
remember I don't remember if it was a wedding or it was just a regular mass. And I remember the priest had said, talking kind of a joking about the Italian culture and how the grandmothers always say, in Italian we say mangiasti, did you eat? And it's so important in our culture to eat and to eat together. And he said, if you scale it back, what is food? Food is energy, stored energy, and so what you're giving is life. And that's why eating as a family is so important because we're nourishing together. You're basically saying, like when I come over and you say have another plate of gnocchi, you're saying have life. Here's food. Here's energy. I'm passing energy to you.
Yeah, but the food part is important, but always, you see, it's good to keep the family together. Okay, one of my big passion is, like to see my grandchildren. Okay, between them, they are cousins, and grow up together.
Yeah.
And if it's a need for anybody to support that one who might need anything from moving furniture, okay, even financially, I want them to share the same ending that I wanted. It is
Same values.
unity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've always said that. You said that the closer you are, the more you can help each other.
Yes.
And
No,
it's
you know what the other
you need what
person
they
needs.
exactly. You know what they need.
Because if we are distance, like I when I share experience having my parents back home in Argentina at the beginning when I was here, okay, and my mother used to write because my mother was the writing generation, the letters,
Yeah.
like from
Letter in the mail.
in the mail, okay, but I never was happy when there was receiving a letter because she was telling me what I wanted to hear. Instead, for me, the best communication was the telephone.
Yeah.
When that was, she answered the phone and said hello. I knew in what state of mind she was, how happy she was, or how depressed she was, because it's not easy to
The
to
tone
make
you
a
can hear.
son
Yeah.
live in the country and going to the other side of the world, and maybe you don't know if you're gonna see again or not. And that's what I say. The voice says everything. Hear your family, hear your children. They tell you, even with the silent, they tell you what kind of mood they are and what situation they are. Listen to your children. It's the best investment you're going to have in your life. Okay?
Interesting.
And
Interesting. I thought you would have said listen to your parents.
no, to the parents already. We say the same things over and over. It is an old story. So that means listen to your children,
Yeah.
okay? And also, I tell the children, listen to your parents
Yeah.
in a different way. At my age, you're already, if you didn't learn what my values are, it's too late already.
Yeah. So, talking about your mom, my grandmother, writing letters, that was a one-to-one medium of communication. And then, enter the telephone, we can now increase tonality. You understood what your mom was saying just by the way she said hi. And what's really cool about where we sit today and the future is now we can communicate one to many. So, this video, we're going to, post it online, a couple of different platforms, but it will exist for many, many years. And you never really know who you're inspiring or who you're speaking to. And that's a really cool thing about where we've come in terms of technology.
So what I wanted to add is that for me, it's a passion for life is trying to give advice to younger generation that is not over. You have to get up every morning and make it the best you can. Okay, with the situation, with the mortgage situation that a lot of people have right now.
What was your first mortgage?
Well, I have a mortgage. The first house that we bought was uh, bought a house of $75,000 in Scarborough. I was lucky to give 30%. I encourage
Wow.
people to give 30%
Wow.
because, or more, because, and I had a mortgage at 10.5% open.
10.5%.
Open. So that means what inspired me, and that's what I encourage people to look at the bottom line. At that time, we didn't have this technology to know what all the payments are. The bank gave me a printout for 5 years of the length of my mortgage. If I were to make the payments every month, and okay, in 25 years, I would own the house. And I say, okay, let me look at it. Because what's open, how much gonna change by giving $1,000, okay, payments toward the mortgage. So notice I went to the whole printout. I was killing 5 years of payments only by giving $1,000 down. I says, after I decided, I said, from now on, no more Saturday, no more Sunday with the family. Just work to make that $1,000. It's not, I'm not anti-bank, but the bank is a business.
Yeah.
So what happened is I encourage people to pay attention on the finances. Yeah. So, if you want something better in the future, try to pay your debt today.
Yeah, that's a great point. And you know what? You'll own the asset. You'll own it truly, that without payments on it. And the idea of, locking in a mortgage for 25 or now what's available is even 30 years. If you can look at, if I did a prepayment, a super payment, if I didn't go on vacation this year and took that $5,000 and put it down on my mortgage, would you be saving 6 months of prepayment? Would you be saving 8 months, a year?
More.
Even more.
So that's what I say, that the people pay attention and say, so as long as I pay the mortgage, I'm fine. But the thing it is, you have to pay for 25 years.
Well, what's funny
the first payment is all interest. Yeah. The last payment is all capital.
All principal. What's funny is people will find a way to have $2,000 for a new phone every 18 months. But if you took that $2,000 and prepaid your debt, you'd be much further ahead. So.
Yeah. The priority is supposed to be, number one is the family. Second of all, your finances. Okay, pay attention and work harder for be comfortable in the future.
So your F's are family, finance, and fun. That's
Yeah, I know, but the fund sometimes can go over the finances, but a limited part, not all the time. The finances is very important because, remember, you put children in this world, you have to give, first of all, food and education, because it's your responsibility. Nobody else will feed your family. It's only you. After a holiday, you're going to say, oh, you know what? I don't even remember what I went through, but you remember that last night your child was crying because you didn't feed it properly. And finances is very important in life.
Wow, that's great. I want to wrap up the talk. Is there anything else you want to share? Any other ideas, inspiration, anything else on your mind? I know as we talked about Markham, just as we were on a phone call on your way over, you had mentioned the idea of traffic and something that irks you. What bothers you about traffic in Markham?
Well, it's not Markham only.
Oh, it's not Markham only. No.
It's in general, okay? It's the traffic, and it's congested everywhere.
So what's the cause of that?
The cause is because it's two things that they are not balanced. It's the speed that we're supposed to travel and the timing of the changing of the stoplights.
So the red lights.
Yeah, the red lights. It's, like I give you one example to a friend of mine. If you travel here in Markham from 404 to McCowan, where I live, okay, if you travel at 60, like the speed of Highway 7, out of 20 stoplight, you got 14 red. If one night, 11 o'clock at night, I travel at the same, okay, I speed of 80, I took a chance, I speed of 80, out of the 20 stoplight, I got 3 red.
Yeah.
They are bad synchronized, okay, because the speed with the timing of the change. Yeah. So that's why sometimes I get frustrated, and I use my own logic. Yeah. It is, again, I don't want to go into politics, but the thing is, somebody control this.
Yes.
Like I remember growing up like a kid, I was thinking there was a monkey on top of the stoplight changing the switching
Yeah.
the light. I think there is an idea that came to my mind, and it is using artificial intelligence, you know, and so many cameras that we have and everything right now. They could have put cameras like they tell you how long you have to run the green, when they're going to change
Yeah.
in 20 seconds, 16 seconds. Why they don't see that on the other side of the other crossing, it's no traffic.
Yeah.
It's no car waiting. Why shoot
Yeah.
a minute here and a minute there? But
Yeah.
anyway, this is
Yeah.
gonna be adjusted.
I don't
Eventually,
know.
we'll adjust.
We hope that they will. I see that too. It drives me nuts. I know the conspiracy theorist in me would say, well, the longer you're sitting in idle traffic, the more gas you're using. And I don't know what it is, 50 cents a liter that we spend in gas is taxed. So really the government makes money on us sitting in taxes.
Yeah,
And then sitting in traffic. And then the other argument was when the 407 is run, like if you're running parallel to the 407, there's a ton of congestion by stoplights, and that just encourages you to jump onto this paid toll highway.
Yeah, but not also that. But my logic is this: yes, the government makes more money in taxes, but if I would have been the government, I don't want the people to be stuck in traffic.
I know, you
I
want a
wanted the
productive
people to be
society.
productive.
Yes,
Okay,
100%.
the more we spend it on traffic, okay, you say, well, yeah, you can run your business, like with your phone, like even if you're driving, but it's not, because accidents happen, but distractions and everything, because we are not productive. For me, if you had to blame something, not only to Canadian government in general, is that we're losing productivity,
Yeah, agreed.
because we spend too much in social media, too much stuck in traffic, okay, and we are not thinking about improving the people life. And the people life is not the best life being stuck on traffic. Everybody's nervous, everybody's losing the cools, okay, everything, because we are not producing anything. We're wasting time. And I hope one day they're gonna realize, yes, if even if one day that you make less money in taxes, but at least the people are having a better life.
Yeah. Well, and some great ideas. And, if you want to see this type of policy change, you can comment down below, #Vito for mayor.
No.
And let's see if we can blow up the internet with that. I don't know if he's interested in.
No, I tell you this, and I told you so many times, okay? I see the future on you, okay, one day being a mayor of Markham, okay, because you have the part that it is the intelligent to run a city as big as Markham, but also you have the heart to feel for the people. And I can tell you, nothing that would have been make me happy knowing that not only you are successful in business, whatever you do your best, and I'm very proud of that. But what it is also, I think that the important part that any human being has something to offer to others. Remember, guys, everything that you have is not only yours, it's there to share. And sharing is not only material things, your experience, your time. And I hope one day, even if I know the mayor, Franz Carpiti, very well, I said that maybe, in the future is a successful person here who will decide one day to run for office.
I remember our first brush with Mr. Scarpetti when he first ran for office and he lost. I remember we had to go out that night and pick up all of the signs. And I remember that night thinking, no one ever thinks about picking up the signs of the losing candidates.
Yeah, what's the provincial? He
was that provincial
for provincial. He ran.
And then, the following election, after Mayor Cousins had moved on, he had taken over, and he's basically been the mayor of Markham for now more than 20 years. And
Very happy, not only because he's Italian, but also the improvement on Markham.
Yeah.
Markham became like the town of Markham.
Now it's a
Now I
city.
had to get used to the city of Markham. And thanks to all the immigrants who came to Markham,
Yeah.
I made it big. And, like I wouldn't say discriminated where we come from. Is we are human and we want to improve our families, and Markham is a nice place to live. Okay, I'm never gonna see me, not because I don't want to go to other places, but I'm gonna live in Markham for a long time till God
Until we move you. Until we move you.
No, yeah, that's what it is.
Well, listen, thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for being a great father. Thanks for all your inspiration. And if you enjoyed the content here today, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to stay in the know for all things Markham, or if you want to listen into inspiring conversations like my chat with my father, Vito. And comment down below, #Vito for mayor, if you think he should run for office. Now, listen, you're about 10 or 12 years younger than Trump or Biden, so you still have a few years to polish up. And listen, if they can run a country of 350 million, you can run a city of 350,000. That's a piece of cake for you.
Hey,
green lights only. That's his campaign is going to be all green lights all the time.
A lot of accidents.
A lot of accidents. Listen, guys, thanks so much for watching. Until the next episode, make it a great one.